Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Dimitra's Dishes. Today I'm going to be sharing with you one of my favorite holiday recipes. It's not a turkey, it's not a roast leg of lamb. I'm going to teach you how to make my stuffed Cornish hens, and it is a perfect alternative to a big turkey or something like that. It's very simple to make. It's ready in about an hour, hour and a half max, so you just can't beat that. It is just a wonderful thing to make for the holiday season or when you're having special guests over. Let's go over the ingredients so we can start. We're gonna need some salt, black pepper. We're gonna need one batch of my stuffing recipe. I'm gonna put it in the card section and in the description box down below. We need some melted salted butter. I have a sprig of fresh rosemary. You could use oregano or thyme instead. 2 lemons, and I have 4 Cornish hens. So I just washed the Cornish hens under cold water, then I patted them very, very dry. You want to make sure that there's no moisture on them, no water, so that way the marinade sticks to them. We also have 2 cloves of garlic that I forgot to talk about, and that's going to be part of the herbed butter that we're going to put on these to flavor them, so they're going to be just absolutely delicious. Now, I did this recipe, my stuffing recipe, yesterday actually. I posted it, so you're going to refer to that video because you're going to need one batch of it. If you're not a fan of rice stuffing, you can go ahead and make a cornbread stuffing or whatever stuffing you like. We're going to go on now to making the herbed butter that's going to go on top of the Cornish hens. I have some butter here. Now I like to use salted butter because it has a lot of flavor. In America, the salted butter is not too salty. So if you're overseas and the butter is too salty, then use unsalted butter and just put a little bit of salt in there to salt it to your liking, or you can just use unsalted butter and just season this with a little more salt. So I'm gonna grate 2 garlic cloves in here, and I'm gonna add the zest of 2 lemons. Now I'm just gonna remove the leaves from the rosemary stem, and I'm gonna finely chop them and add those to the butter. I love the way fresh rosemary smells, such a nice woodsy, piney aroma. And then we're gonna need the juice of 1 lemon. You can also add the juice of an orange in here too for a little kick of sweetness. Season with a little bit of black pepper, and I'm gonna do a pinch of salt, and that's it. The herb butter is ready. This is gonna add tons and tons of flavor. Just go ahead and mix everything all together, and that is done. You wanna make sure that the stuffing is at room temperature. You do not wanna put hot stuffing into the Cornish hens, otherwise it's gonna start to cook them from the inside, and it's gonna not cook. They're not gonna cook properly. They'll be dry before you know it. So now we're gonna go on and just put a little bit of salt inside the cavity of each one of these little Cornish hens. So you're gonna wanna use a dirty hen and a clean hen. You never wanna contaminate the salt with the juices from a chicken, otherwise you're gonna have to dump all of that salt out. So make sure that the clean hen that you're touching the salt never touches the chicken or the little hen in any way. Put some salt in each one, in each cavity. And now we're gonna put about a cup of filling into each little hen, and it doesn't matter if the same spoon touches the chicken, and it's okay if the spoon is touching the chicken because any leftover stuffing is just going to bake alongside the little hens. Once you stuff the hens with the rice stuffing, then you're going to want to tie the legs, brush them with that herbed butter, and then any stuffing that's left over, you can transfer it into a little baking dish, pour about a cup of chicken broth over it, cover it with foil, and both pans can go in a preheated 400-degree Fahrenheit oven. So we're gonna let them bake in the oven for about an hour to an hour and 20 minutes, or until the thickest part of the thigh reaches 165 degrees Fahrenheit. You can check with a meat thermometer, an oven-safe meat thermometer. I'm gonna pop them in the oven and I'm gonna show you what they look like as soon as they come out. So the Cornish hens came out of the oven. They baked for an hour and 10 minutes. The last 5 to 7 minutes, I did turn on the broiler element so that way they can brown evenly on top. They did need a little more color. If you have to do that, it all depends on your oven. Then make sure you stay close by and keep an eye on it. The last thing you want is for the skin to burn. I also uncovered the stuffing for the last 10-15 minutes so it can get nice and crisp on top. The whole house smells amazing. Once it comes out of the oven, then let the Cornish hens rest for a good 10-15 minutes so that way they stay nice and juicy. Now, there is a little bit of a pan sauce on the bottom of the pan from all the juices that the Cornish hens have released, plus the butter that melted off. You can just put that in a little gravy boat and your guests can help themselves if they want some extra. Or when you go ahead to plate this and serve it, you can just pour it on top, totally up to you. You could add some flour and lemon juice to this, some capers, and turn it into delicious gravy. But honestly, it's perfect just the way it is. Now I'm gonna go in and take a bite. So tender, flavorful, juicy, and delicious. That stuffing is my favorite. I'll take rice and ground beef stuffing any day over bread stuffing. That's just me, that's how I am. I think you guys are gonna love it. I don't know if I mentioned that this stuffing, I made this the day before, so yesterday's video will have this stuffing. It's basically stuffing made with rice and ground beef, some cranberries and pine nuts, lots and lots of delicious flavor. It's my mom's recipe and it's so delicious. Use it as a stuffing in this recipe or as a dressing to serve as a side for your holiday table. Thank you guys so much for spending time with me today. If you are not subscribed, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any more recipes. I have so many good recipes coming to you for the holiday season. Thank you guys for spending time with me today. I will see you all next time. Yes, us.